Uno, dos, one, two, tres, cuatro.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Father's Day. Welcome to Rethink Your Legacy. My name is Francisco Servent. I am your host, your attorney, and problem solver at Law Today, hailing from Keystone Law Firm in Chandler. We are an estate planning and asset protection firm, and we help you protect your assets from all those terrible things out there in life. If you need help with that, give us a call. Jot down this phone number, 480-750-7788. And your first phone call appointment is free, so get on the calendar and see what's going on. Let us help you figure out what's up. Today, I don't know, today's kind of, it's special in multiple different ways. It's pretty cool. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. To all of you who have a dad, right? To all of you. If you can, I encourage you, reach out to your dad. Some of you, you need to, and I just want to give you that nudge. Your dad would appreciate it. For those of you who have a struggling relationship with your father, these are tough. These are tougher days because it may not necessarily be something you're celebrating, and so for that, my heart goes out to you. If you've lost your father, especially if this is the first Father's Day without him, then my heart especially goes out to you. And so I encourage you to just use today as the opportunity to encourage you, and maybe you have the strength to encourage somebody else to be a better father. And so that's what I want to encourage all of the dads out there today is I want to encourage you that you can be the best father that you can be, right? The dad you have in your mind, that visionary, like just big picture that you have in your mind of what you want to be as a father, I want to encourage you to say that you can do that. And so today's show is dedicated to you. It's also a fun show for me because guess what? This is our 52nd show on the air. Yeah, Rethink Your Legacy. This is show number 52. So for us, this is kind of a neat little experiment we've been running for a year now. And it's funny how the year actually falls, 365 days, 12 months, 52 weeks. We didn't start it until, I think, July of last year. But our 52nd show is falling in the middle of June. Fine. Fine with me. So happy anniversary also to us here at Rethink Your Legacy, sort of at the 52nd week. I don't know, maybe. But thanks for listening. You guys have been following and sticking through and suffering through 1 hour a week of a lawyer. But you know what? I think the reason you're doing it is because you're not getting a bill for that hour. So you might as well, right? Well, today, in honor of Father's Day, there's so much I could talk about. I think for me, the biggest thing, it really just comes down to, because I'm a dad. I mean, if you've listened to the show for any time, you've heard me talk about my kids. I've got 4 kids, and you've heard me, and I think the most important thing is not what we pass on to them, dollars and cents, but it's what we pass on to them, in terms of how we live our life every day. And yeah, I think that's just our most important gift to them is how we live our life. It's a hard thing these days to be a strong father figure. I think there's a lot of social sort of pressure to not be that in a lot of ways, and I think I don't think that's healthy for our families. I don't think that's healthy for our kids, even our spouses. and our communities. I think our communities need stronger men, stronger than ever. And it doesn't mean that we are brutes or jerks or bullies, not at all. It means that we're strong enough to realize we don't have to be that, but that where we stand on something is unshakable. And we don't need to be a bully in that sense. So I don't know. I was my grandpa on my mom's side. He did just an amazing job of writing down his stories of his life, and there was this really funny, scary incident that happened between him and his dad. I never met his dad, but my grandpa grew up in the 20s and 30s in Nebraska on a farm. And so he wrote down this one story that I think just kind of highlights, the relationship between kids and their dads, and how sometimes there's this incredible awe that we have of our fathers, and how your dad responds to you as a kid is going to, how you respond as a dad, it's going to set them onto a path. It's going to at least plant some seeds in their mind. It's going to teach them how to think about the world. And if we're doing it intentionally, then we're going to set them up for success. If we don't do it intentionally, if we let ourselves get triggered, if we let ourselves, our tempers flare and just react, then we're going to teach them a different lesson. And so, I'm going to get into the estate planning and asset protection aspects of this, but this story from my grandpa just kind of, I don't know, it just tells me how strong us men are and how we really are created. So anyway, this story, it's too long to read the whole thing, but every year they had to go out on their land and cut enough wood to be able to heat the house in the wood burning stove and run the kitchen. So they had to, gather up enough wood to last the whole winter. They would freeze otherwise, right? So they had all these crazy ways they had these little, they would cut by hand, handsaw. They would cut by axe. They had these funny little saws that were rigged up using little engines. They just had all these little ways to try to make the process as painless as possible. But, they had to gather this massive, massive pile of wood. It was a massive pile of wood. He describes it here to last the whole winter, right? You're talking about like 3-4 months of wood for a household. Well, and in gathering this wood, it's like in the fish markets. They would toss these, chunks of wood over and across and about just to get it stacked up and organized. And he tells this story how they had just finished with all of the sawing, and him and his brother shut down the tractor. They had this massive pile of wood there, 10 feet or more high. And it's him, his brother Ray, and his dad, and they're just picking up some of these scattered chunks around, just throwing them up way up onto the last piece. And he had this big piece. He was just about to wind up to throw this last big piece from his spot, about 4 inches in diameter. He says about 18 inches long, so a decent chunk of wood, right? And he was and it just so happened that at this very moment, his dad ended up between him and the wood pile. And how no matter how hard you try to avoid something, you're staring at it to avoid it, and he chucks this piece of wood knowing he can clear his dad easily, like no problem, but he's just, for some reason, staring straight at his dad. And like a homing pigeon, he says, even though you had it all figured out how you're going to avoid it, his body goes into some contortion where he ends up throwing it directly at his dad and nailing him right in the neck, knocking him to his knees, and he was deathly afraid. And his dad said, "Charles, I know you didn't mean to hit me." but he knew for the rest of his life he would always be looking over his shoulder at his dad. And I think that's just what we think about our dads, right? I mean, his dad, as devastated and as much pain as his dad would have been in at that moment, he said, I know you didn't mean to hit me, son. And so that's what I want us to pass on to our kids. I want you to pass on that type of memory to your kids, and to encourage them even when they make a really painful mistake. So today we're going to be giving you a checklist on how to have a discussion about your estate with your family. I'm going to go through that with you. So go over to radio.keystonelawfirm.com and get it. It's radio.keystonelawfirm.com, and we're going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about some of the mistakes other families have made so you can avoid them. We'll see you after the break. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Rethink Your Legacy. This is Francisco Servant back again with you for the hour on Rethink Your Legacy. If we're just meeting, I am an estate planning and asset protection attorney out of Keystone Law Firm in Chandler, Arizona. Lovely little Chandler. And if you need help, that's what we're here for. So jot down this number. You could send a text message real quick just to save it in your phone. It is 480-750-7788. And that will entitle you to your free first phone appointment. We're happy to chat about anything. And you can chat with my team, figure out what is going on, what's happening in your life. And if we've got some resources, we're happy to send them your way. We're happy to help you figure out what the next step is. You know, I mean, if you need to do something, we'll point you in the direction. If you don't, you can figure that out. And there you go. So 480-750-7788. Today is Father's Day. It was funny that just Mother's Day a few weeks ago, my son, who's 13, you know, he's how tall is he? He's 5'10" and a half. He's almost 5'11", and he comes up to me in the middle of Mother's Day, asked just the clichéest, like the most perfect question a kid can ask on Mother's Day. He said, Dad, you know, this is great, Mother's Day and all, we love Mom, but when is it Kids Day, right? And me and his mom, my wife, we just start howling in laughter. We're like, when is it Kids Day? Are you kidding? Every other day of the year is Kids Day. You gotta be kidding me, Gabriel, really? And he just, his face went like, oh, haha, yep, I get it, you're right, it is. Every other day of the year is Kids Day. I'm good. And he backed off of that really quickly. So today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. And for those of you who do celebrate your father on Father's Day, definitely give them a call. Send them a text. You know, if they're in town, make sure you drive by and give them a hug. You won't have them forever. And there's a lot of you out there who've lost your dad. And, you know, for those of you who have, you know how precious each of these Father's Days are, right? So if you have your dad, pick up the phone, give him a ring, say, Dad, I love you. Thank you for what you did. Never expected you to be perfect. I can't be perfect myself, but I know you gave it your best and I appreciate it. I love you. And you know what? That will sit in your dad's heart forever. And for you, the one listening, I'm talking to you who, you know, maybe you should do that. That act of gratitude will sit in your heart forever as well. It blesses both of you. So pick up the phone, give them a call. Today, I'm encouraging you to go get a special checklist for you, maybe for your dad. Maybe you want to give this to your dad. It's not like a gift. Don't make this his Father's Day gift, okay? But it's a checklist on how to have a discussion around your estate issues, okay? I completely recommend, no hesitation whatsoever, for you dads to talk about this with your family now, before it's too late, before you die. You can't have this conversation after you die. It's so critical, and I see so many dads not doing it, even my own clients. Come on, clients, get out there and do this, that I've created a checklist to make it easy on you, because I know us guys, we're terrible at having conversations. We don't know what to say. You know, the extent of our conversation is a yes or a no. Well, it needs to be a little bit more here. And what I'm giving you in this checklist is a real actual tool. It's a practical, useful thing. It's not something you're going to tuck into your email and forget about. You're going to get it. You go to the website radio.keystonelawfirm.com. I know it's hard to grab that off the radio sometimes, but it's radio.keystonelawfirm.com. You just enter your name and email, and the website will send it to you. Get it and print it out if you have to. This will walk you through the topics, okay? A, B, C, D. And it's even organized in a way where it's like, where it'll say, if you're not comfortable going down to the second layer, stop here, sort of a thing. So here's layer 1. I encourage you to go down layer 2. I encourage you to even go through layer 3. The deeper you can go into this, the better your family's going to be. Your loved ones will appreciate it. It's going to, if it's the first time you're doing it, it's going to be hard. It's going to be uncomfortable. Your subconscious mind is going to try to convince you that you shouldn't do it. But I encourage you to do it, because the problem, if you don't do it, is that you end up giving them a mess, a confusing mess, simply because they didn't have your own voice in their head telling you what to do. Right? We had this one dad. Got to speak in generalities, right? This one dad, while he was in his still working years, was told, you've got a long-term medical issue. Like you've got a medical issue. Long-term, it's not, you're not like in grave danger, but this thing is going to decline. You better, like, this is a good wake-up call. Get your affairs in order. So he did. Got his affairs in order. But, I mean, he's still working, still living, healthy, whatever. Well, 10 years go by. Never has the conversation with his kids. Never has any of this discussion with his kids. And he declines to the point where he can't manage his finances anymore. It's affected his cognitive abilities, and he's declining, and he needs help. So they step in to try to help. They discover, oh my gosh, thank goodness, Dad, you did do some legal documents. But by the time they're trying to use them, they're so old, they're outdated. The family doesn't know where all the accounts are. The family is confused about, oh, well, we found one over here, and, well, what's this thing in the mail, and what's that thing? And, well, the document, says A, B, C, but we can't even find that anymore. Does he still have that? And it was just, it was literally a mess. It was a mess. And if all he would have done at the time he did it was sat down and said, hey, look, I've created my plan. Here it is. This is for you guys because I love you and I don't want this to be a problem. It puts, child A, you're going to be the one who's responsible for the worst job in the world. I'm sorry, but I'm giving you the job. And if at the time you're in a place of life where you can't do it, then I've named, you, child B, as the backup or whoever, right? And just explain that to them. Say, look, this is my current list of where I do business. I've got accounts at Fidelity, at Schwab, at Bank of America, at whatever. And you know what? I'll do my best to try to keep this up to date, but this is the current thing as it is now. And then that would have set them onto a completely different path. But it didn't. It ended up with just a mess. So, dads, please have this conversation. Jump over there. Get this checklist. It's there. Please. This is my gift, okay? You just jump over to radio, and you can do this on your phone, right? Your phone has the internet browser, Safari or Chrome or Google. You just type radio.keystonelawfirm.com right there. Enter your name, your email, and the website sends it right to you. So dads, happy Father's Day. Get the checklist. Or if you want to give this to your dad and say, hey, Dad, can we have this tough conversation? Because maybe I know you did do your will or your trust, some time ago. I feel completely unprepared. I am worried out of my mind, and the only thing that's going to help is if you just here's the checklist, just look through it and tell me if you can what you can tell me. Or look through the checklist and give it to your dad and say, Dad, can you please get your crap together if you know your dad hasn't? Everybody needs at least a basic will. In Arizona, if you want to avoid the worst things in probate, then you just set up a trust. It's not even any more expensive these days. It's the same thing. Set it up, get it done, check it off. You've given your family a great gift. Now, before we go to break, though, we have, this is 1 year in the show, right? We did something on Mother's Day, and if you were listening, and if you've listened the last few weeks, you know what we offered moms. We offered the moms out there a free copy of my book, Pack Your Parachute. I'm not offering that to you dads because I know dads. I'm a dad. I had a dad. I know enough of you as my clients, and you guys don't need a book. You need a one-page checklist. So that's why today you're getting the checklist. radio.keystonelawfirm.com. Get your checklist, okay? If you need more than that, I encourage you to have your wife request the book. I'm just kidding. No. But if you need more help than that, then I encourage you to give us a call or send a text to this phone number, 480-750-7788. That phone number is your ticket to your first free appointment. We schedule it over the phone, and we'll figure out what's going on. You'll talk, you'll tell us, here's what I'm wondering about, point me in the right direction, we'll point you in the right direction. All right, 480-750-7788. And after the break, we're going to cut into this checklist a little bit. Welcome back. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rethink Your Legacy, and Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. I am a proud father of 4 kids, a dog, begrudgingly a cat, even worse, and we also now have a tortoise, which is actually my favorite pet. Welcome back to the show. My name is Francisco Servent. I am an estate planning and asset protection attorney, and our law firm, Keystone Law Firm in Chandler, Arizona, we help clients all over plan and protect their assets for their loved ones. So if you need help with that, if you have questions about that, our firm is here to help. That's what we do. First phone call is scheduled, and your first appointment is free, just so you know. There's no catch, no obligation. We just want to help you figure out if we can even help you, if we need to help you. And then we use that also as an opportunity to figure out if we think you would be a good fit for us. We only have so much ability to accept new clients each month, and so we try to work with folks that really will appreciate what we do and who truly need the services that we offer. So give us a call if you're ready to schedule that first phone call. It's 480-750-7788. You can send a text message as well. My team will get right back to you Monday morning. Today, I'm giving you the checklist. Dads, I gave moms a whole book, okay? This is, I kind of know a little bit about how I've seen my clients like to consume information. So mom's got a whole book, or actually, update on that. We had so many book requests. You guys, darn it, it has taken me forever to fulfill these, but the last of them are going out they went out Friday. So thank you for being patient. For those of you on Mother's Day who took advantage of that offer and haven't gotten it yet, it is on its way. I can say finally they're all out the door. Okay, moms, you got a book. Dads, you get a checklist. Let's go through the checklist. If you don't have it yet, go over to radio.keystonelawfirm.com, enter your name and email, download it, and let's go through it together. It's pretty simple. Dads, I'm not demeaning. I'm not trying to demean you. I'm a dad. I just want it to the point. I want to know ABC. Tell me what needs to be done. Don't mess around. Don't play games. Just give it to me straight. And I know a lot of you ladies are like that, so, bless your hearts, all of you, for having, the ability to see things from a different perspective. So dads, our checklist today is quick. It's easy. These are the discussion areas I want you to have with your family. And you know what? If you got this checklist right now during the show, it's early enough in the day, you could force your kids to have this discussion. I know too many dads who say, I've tried to have this discussion, but my kids just say, Dad, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Dad, we can't talk about that. You're not dying. Guys, this has nothing to do with that. It obviously has to do with that, but talking about this, it's not going to change anything, right? I've been talking about this for 20 years. I'm still here, so I'm proof, okay? On Father's Day, though, right, you've got this unique ability to pick up the phone if they're not with you, or to get them in the room and say, all right, guys, I need to talk about this. And they can't say no. You can say, this is what you're going to give me. You're going to give me the honor of just listening for a couple minutes. I don't want to take long, but I want you guys to know what I did. I want you guys to know that I did this with a lot of emotional investment to take care of you, because I love you. And the last thing that you're going to have from me is the mess I leave behind, and I don't want it to be a mess. So here's what I've done. Trust me, they're gonna pay attention. They're gonna appreciate it. They're also gonna look at you and go, he's the dad I thought he's the dad I want him to be. He's the best dad in the world. So, dads, little tip for you. Get the checklist and use this as something you cover today. It's going to be awkward. Totally going to be awkward, especially if it's the first time you've done it. Get through the first time, right? Every time you do something for the first time, it's always awkward. And that's a lesson you taught your kids when they were growing up, right? First time they rode their bike, it was awkward. You had to do it 1,000 times before it felt like second nature. So yes, dads, this is your first time. That's okay. Get through the first time. Next time you do it, it'll be better. So here is the checklist. I've got it sort of layered into 3 tiers, because I get it. Not all of us are comfortable going all the way deep the first time. Some of you have already had this discussion a few times, so maybe you'll be comfortable going a little bit deeper. Okay, so for those of you who aren't, here's the first layer. First layer, peel back this onion, is just tell them 2 things. Not complicated. Anybody can do this. Just tell them, guys, I've created my will, my trust, my power of attorneys, my healthcare directives. Number 1, tell them that you've done it. And then number 2, tell them where the stupid documents are. Tell them how to get to them. Show them. Walk them back to the file drawer, the bookshelf, the safe. If they're in your safe deposit box, for goodness sake, get them out of there. Do not leave them in that. Put them in your house somewhere easy for your family to get to, because God forbid you're unavailable when these things are needed. And now we have to go through a giant mess trying to convince the bank to open it for somebody else. I don't care if somebody else's name is on that safe deposit box. I've had too many nightmares happen. Get them out of the safe deposit box. That's if you take anything away from me today on Father's Day, get them out of the safe deposit box. Put them somewhere at home where they're easy to get to, okay? Soapbox, number 1. That's your first point of conversation, though. Number 1 is tell them you've done this. And number 2, tell them where the documents are. And if you're, Sunday morning, you're just getting this checklist, you're thinking, oh, crap, I can't get to the safe deposit box and get them out today. Tell them, guys, I got them in the safe deposit box, but I just learned how bad that was, so I'm actually going to be moving them, and let me show you where they're going to be kept. They're going to be kept right here. Just do that, okay? That's first layer of the onion. Peel it back if you want. I encourage you to go to the second layer Even if it's the first time you've done this, I totally encourage you to do this. I know as dads, it's hard to give some of this news to your family, but I think it's best for them. I really do. So here's the next layer. Number 1, divulge who has been selected to serve as your executor, your trustee, your financial power of attorney, your healthcare agent. Some families, there's no drama with that at all. You just tell them and they all accept it. It's great. Everyone's high-fiving each other. I know some families out there, though, this is a potential area of pain, of insult, feelings being hurt. And I don't know how to overcome that. I don't have an answer for you on that, except for this. They're going to find out, right? They're going to find out. And if they find out when you're not around, who are they going to turn against? I promise you, they always turn against each other. Always. And if that's what you're leaving behind, then truly shame on you. You, as the dad, you should take the blame for this. And the only way I've seen it work is if you take the blame while you're alive. If you tell them, sweetheart or son, I've named you first. Guys, I realize that might hurt feelings. That is not my intention. My intention is that this job, which is a horrible, terrible job, be done as quickly as possible. And I had to pick one, and you're first. And you know what? There you go, guys. Please respect my opinion. Do not fight over this. Do not blame her or him for this. This is my choice. And let them fume at you. That is my advice. All right, we've got more to cover. We're coming up on a break. So go get your checklist. I forgot to tell you again to remind you, it's radio.keystonelawfirm.com. Hurry up and get it. I've only got one more segment with you to go through this. I get emotional about this stuff. Dads, come on, we got to step up to the plate. Go to radio.keystonelawfirm.com. Get your checklist. Let's go through the rest of it after the break because I want you to have a good Father's Day. I want you to have the best Father's Day. Be back in a minute. Welcome back. Happy Father's Day from Rethink Your Legacy. My name is Francisco Servent. Happy Father's Day, guys. If you're a dad, congratulations. Get out there, celebrate your kids, celebrate your own dad, all of you. Even if it's, even if it's a tough relationship, just, what does it cost to send out a text, Happy Father's Day? And, there might have been, hopefully, even one thing right your terrible dads did. And if not, then God bless you. Maybe you can make a difference in the life of somebody else who is a dad, and you can encourage them to do something better. So in our checklist, dads, you need to get this checklist. Go over to radio.keystonelawfirm.com. Type it in your phone, jump on your computer, your iPad, radio.keystonelawfirm.com, and download this checklist so that we can help you talk about this stuff with your kids, with your family. And if you need help right now, then just call or text. Our phone number is 480-750-7788. Send us a text. Let's get you scheduled. Let's figure out what's going on. That first appointment is free. Just figure out what's up. Get some help. Okay. What do we cover next on this checklist? So we got down to the second layer, and we're still in the second layer. I encouraged you to go this deep. There's 3 parts in the second layer. First part was actually tell the family who's been selected to serve as your executor, your trustee, your financial power of attorney, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Who's been selected in those roles. Okay. Next thing in layer 2 is actually explain some more about the type of documents you have. So, teach them a little bit. I have a will, and in the will, that's where my executor is named, and that's where you're going to find the instructions on how to wind up my affairs. The expenses need to be paid first, the bills got to be paid first, the taxes, anything like that. And then only what's left, goes distributed. Or if you have a trust, how that works. Give them some education. This might be the first time they're really learning about these things, and it's confusing. So if you can help them understand this stuff, then go to that second layer of this discussion. Now, the third piece here is to actually have a discussion about how you're dividing things, about what kind of gifts you're leaving behind. You don't even have to say how much, but maybe you just say something generally like, guys, it's things are getting divided equally, or hey guys, we've helped some of you out during lifetime, and we want to make sure that everybody gets roughly equal the same thing from us. And so, those things are taken into account in the ultimate distribution because we want to be able to give some of this to you while we're alive. Perfect way to say it. Or, you know what, kids, I'm leaving this china to daughter A, and I'm leaving that rug to daughter B, or whatever. If you have some specific items, some heirlooms in your family, some important things from grandma, grandpa, make sure there's nothing wrong with saying who's going to get that now. If there's a really unique piece of jewelry, there's only one of them, and you've got 2 daughters, I don't have a magic pill for you. You can wait and die and let them fight over it and let it be forever a thorn in their relationship, which I promise you is what will happen if you don't do anything about it while you're alive. I hope you're not that kind of conflict avoider. We should face this head on, and they already know this is a problem, right? Just say, girls, there's only one bracelet from grandma. And I'm not going to have you 2 fight over this after I'm gone. So we're going to start figuring this out now. What do we want to do about it? One of you gets it. That's not fair. We could split it up by the year. You get it 6 months. You get it 6 months. We could have a jeweler make it into 2 new pieces. We could have an identical replica made and then mix and match, do the behind the back. You pick one, you pick, nobody knows which one you got. There's just not any perfect way to do it. So, but as the dad, you need to face this head on. Do not leave this. It's like lighting a fuse and throwing it into your kids to play hot potato with. This is not what you want to leave behind, especially if you have one of those really particular items and no way to cut it in half. Don't leave that to them. Don't leave them that mess. So that's the third piece of this second layer. All right. Now, if you want to go all the way past the first layer, past the second layer, and get down to the heart of the issue, I encourage you to actually sit down and do a family meeting looking at your estate documents. Just look at them. Open them up. Go through them. You don't need to go through page by page. There's usually hundreds of pages in there that are just boilerplate legalese, and those are good. You need them. Go through the pieces of it that are customized by you and show them. Discuss. Here's what the documents say. Look at that. Look at this. Let's look at that. Let's look at this. And then you can even just, if you want to go here, I encourage you to do it. Again, I think as dads, as moms too, it's our job to take the brunt of their reaction on this and not to leave it to them to have a reaction with each other. It's just so devastating to their relationships. And so take the brunt of it now. Your family will heal before you pass away, and then you've left them with a relationship with each other. And that's the gift. That's the real gift. So if you have the strength to pull the documents out and go through it with them specifically, show them exactly what each person is going to receive, I promise you, your family will be stronger because of it. They will be healthier. In your absence, they will be healthier. And what more do we want for our families than for them to carry something on in our absence? I mean, that's the whole point of parenthood. You know, my kids are 13, 12, and 9. They're mostly dependent on us. Like financially, they're dependent on us. My goal is to get them as quickly as possible to be completely independent, even if that happens before they move out of the house. Hallelujah. And you know what? When I'm gone from this earth, I want them to be absolutely independent, not dependent on me, and I want them to be absolutely close to their siblings. I want their family to be tight even after I'm gone, to be better than when I was here. And I think this checklist, this is one of the ways to do that. So dads, on Father's Day, grab this checklist. Go over to radio.keystonelawfirm.com. It's pretty simple, right? Open up your phone, open up your iPad, type in radio.keystonelawfirm.com. You'll see where you enter your name and email so the website can send it to you. And I pray that you use this tool, that you don't see it as something just, this quick little checklist some guy threw together. Nah, this thing, if you give the value to this that I see in its potential, this Father's Day will be a marked memory in your family's history. And you have that opportunity because you know what, the day's just starting. I know what time it is. It's almost 8 a.m. Here you go. Go grab it. radio.keystonelawfirm.com. It's my gift to you on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. And if you need immediate help with any estate issue, whether it's to plan your estate or you need help figuring out how to take care of your mom or your dad because you're the one in charge and they need help, or they've passed and you need help figuring out what to do, that's what we do. Give us a call, 480-750-7788, and you can send a text message to that number. Just say what you need help with. My team will call you back first thing Monday morning, and they'll get your first appointment scheduled. It's free. It's over the phone. Very quick. All right, everybody, have a great and wonderful day. It's really been my pleasure to be here for a year. I look forward to serving you for another year. Starting next week. Happy Father's Day, everyone.